Today is July 28th, 2026. Today we went down to Dutch Valley Restaurant again in Sugar Creek. These people, if you say something in a restaurant, I will say something very loud outside, and how illegal and what the jail sentences are. I'm tired. I have a right to enjoy a meal with my husband. I do. And you need to realize it. I went to get food. There were some guys off in the distance. That attorney told us he had her tortured. Oh. To teach her a lesson for being weird with herself. I don't believe that girl was in here confessing it was drug dealers and it was photoshopped. And I don't believe there were sheriffs here. Well, too fucking bad what you believe. They only opened a case with her so they could get her under police surveillance doing crimes. And who would have thought they caught them saying stuff? Uh-huh. See, that's where you people and you fucking stupid people. Dave called me Mary Poppins. Practically perfect in every way, Karen. You never do anything wrong. I like being Mary Poppins. Makes me a good person. I want you to think of that. I want you to think about that. You could wait till the end of time. Believe it or not, my life that I loved, that I always wanted, a family that loved each other. I wanted that since I was a child. I loved my family, and I made sure I told them I loved them all the time. And I proved it by laying my life down to help save them, to get information, to get these people stopped. But my life was Dave. Sometimes and at different times careers. My children and my grandchildren. And going out with Dave on vacations, Amish country, shooting because he was into guns. Fishing, boating, long walks, going to visit family, having them over. I had a quiet life. And some people would have thought boring. And it was beautiful. It was my life. Not yours. Mine. It was my life. These people to profit off the government picked out a victim to run a con on the FBI. It was my life. My existence. That I loved. It was everything. All for prostitutes and drug dealers and occult people. You know where President Trump is going after these people for healthcare frauds, running scams on people, stealing from them. This is a sick version of it. A very, very sick version. Fake, dirty doctors, And the way the May 9th, 26th, they were talking in Myers. Or was it April 9th? It's one of the two. That so-called attorney, isn't an attorney's credentials aren't real. Well, I wouldn't think it was a real attorney. Why? Real attorneys don't have people tortured, and at least not let the public know. He doesn't know one law. And where you think the Tuscarawas County Courthouse is a bunch of dumb hicks, that they don't know one law. And you thought you could go down there and fool a bunch of dumb hicks because they're out in the country and it's beautiful there. But you thought they were dumb because it's out in the country. Do you know where we went in to get a restraining order against Carl's second wife's children? These are her grown children that had stolen money and harassed them. When we went to fill out paperwork and stuff, a nurse came in. She wanted to talk to someone. She's like, I want to put a complaint in against my husband. I was at an open party at a house. He was taping the event. You're allowed to. They said, you're allowed to. Well, there was a personal conversation I was having with someone, and I was just venting. I didn't mean it when I said I'd like to kill my patients. I'm like, I thought, damn, he's got you fired. That should have never came out of your mouth. I don't care what's going on. Never, ever threaten people with bodily harm, especially patients. Or something like that. It was something horrible. And he said he's going to get me fired. Can I have him arrested for illegally taping? He said it's open party. When it's an open event, they can tape anywhere they want. Right of privacy don't count. And it also doesn't count when it'd be a one-party recording if you're in the conversation. He wasn't in the conversation. They said, but it's an open party. People are going in and out. The only thing you can't do is set up body cameras and listening devices in somebody's home. That's where the right of privacy comes in. So where you think you can go down there with your little special permission stocking tapes, the hicks aren't stupid. But I told you out in Myers, an alliance by the front register, it's either April 9th or May 9th. They announced that so-called attorney for children. When they looked up his credentials, they're not real. Well, I didn't think they were real. Special permission stocking tapes, fake sodium pentothal reports, the right to drug somebody for a confession, have them beaten, raped under drugs, the right to make people live through horror, have them tortured. And he's an attorney telling people this, and he wouldn't know he would go to jail? Yeah, you see the look? Yeah. It's like flabbergasting ignorance of retardation. And I'm not talking about handicapped people. I'm talking about people with normal IQs that are just acting retarded, trying to pull it off. See, it's sort of like the cult mentality. Okay, when I went to Blaylock's church in 2011, Jim Pritchett came up to me. He said, I hate working with Brother English. He said, I hear all day long how wild and crazy you are. Drunk and drugs. I come to church and you're fine. It's like I haven't seen him in 8 years. they sit around telling each other lies until they believe the lies. For once they tell it to everyone, or so many, the lie to them becomes the truth, and it's still lying. And here they're lying on somebody they don't see or talk to, just for the fun of it. Are you getting the idea of what's going on? Where Heather, my one niece, will learn one day it's wrong to lie on people. Well, see, that's weird. And they were in there complaining. Can you imagine those people they hired? Those and they were talking about them being drug dealers. They told on all of them. Can you imagine they told on all of them? I know they did. They hated Dave so bad they told on him. I know they did. See, okay, we're going to put this scenario out in front of you. Let's say you're a piece of shit person. And you're a miserable son of a bitch piece of shit. And you're so big of a piece of shit. You're going to go hire the mafia. No offense, mafia. You're going to hire the mafia to do a con on somebody, frame them, and then kill them. You're hiring these people to be hitmen. Because you're such a miserable SOB that you just have to hurt somebody. Okay? Are you going to go up to the mafia and start bossing those guys away around that you ordered to run a con on somebody? Are you going to, and then eventually are you going to bark orders at them? Are you crazy? They kill people for a living. Are you crazy? You don't yell at those kind of people. You're not mean to them. You back away slowly and get out there fast. Don't make any sudden movements. Don't make them mad and get out there. You don't make those people mad. Well, the way they were complaining, my ex-husband, because he hired him, he thought he could walk all over him. Well, they told on him. And who was involved in everything? In front of the cops and feds, so they knew. Where everybody's complaining because that other Michelle told on him and her friends for them threatening her life. The original cartel told on him in 18. They hated it. The people he hired hated him. Hated him. The swear words they called him. Obscenities at the wazoo. They hated him. And so they told on him in front of the cops and feds. So they knew what he had them do. You can talk to investigators that pull the case and work the case since 18. They'll tell you, yeah. What did they admit to in 2018 and 2019 at night? One night came up around me in front of the cops and feds. That they used Z drugs on me. That erase your memory while you're doing it. She has no memory of those people from before or anything in the house. Dave was part of them using the Z drugs in the house when they were drugging her and telling her to say stuff. They even, in 18 and 19, had said that Dave and Melissa planned this out way before. That they were to make sure that they were to both get everything in the divorce. They even went as far as extremes of saying that they decided together that Melissa would be the better parent to raise the kids. And it was set up that she would get custody of the kids and I wouldn't be able to help John. when she went for full custody. And that Dave would get everything in the divorce. They were talking about it in 18 and 19, and 19 even in Louisville to people. They were acting like Dave and Melissa at one point were a couple. They said they were in everything together. Okay? Which I made comments when I got alone, because I know the police can hear me. It's like, does John know his wife was cheating with his dad? That's disgusting. While they were married, were they cheating? That's disgusting. They were in planning this whole thing together. April 6th, 25. I'm over at Danny and Jen's. Okay. Okay. Dixie and the girls are there. We go in, sit down. She walks into the kitchen. Now, Danny and Jen's house is super tiny. Said nobody thinks it's funny she married that old man. Melissa said some lady investigator can extort all kinds of money out of the government for me and her. Jen's like, we want nothing to do with it. And she said some lady investigator asked me if we knew anything about the tapes before, and the tape of Weird with Yourself. We told her we wanted nothing, we knew nothing about this, and we won't have anything to do with it. She had giant bruises all over her, sick and almost passing out all the time. We seen her like that, and I didn't put it together what was going on up there. Nobody did. I'm being kept drugged up, drug beaten, raped. And like they said last weekend on Alliance, some guy had told people, they kept her so drugged up she wasn't putting it together, everything that was happening up there. They kept her drugged. Okay. And she said, I didn't realize what was happening up there. I do now, and we won't have anything to do with it. Well, that lady investigator said I could extort money from the government. The attempt to extortion of the government is 20 years. Leave the dumb girl alone. And she is just dumb. That even though I gave her permission on tape to tape me of knowing of Melissa's mean games to pretend that the kids were laughing at, and Dave bringing up the gunshot night, that even though I gave her permission on tape to tape me, I could still sue the government for money. You can't sue the government for money. Leave the dumb girl alone. And Jen's like, we want nothing to do with it. And she said, well, Melissa said the group of people they hired to watch her. Melissa can't hire groups of people to watch me. That the chief of police up there gives special permission for people to break in their homes. He does not. Lets people break in and do stuff to people, like drug them for fake confessions, being rape them. No, he don't. Which the way she described it made total sense. Leave the dumb girl alone. Makes sense? My God. How did she make it this far in life? And Jen's like, we want nothing to do with it. And she said, Melissa said, poor Dave. Poor Dave. Had to sit in the basement and listen to her have wild sex with other men. I thought, what wild sex? What other men? What are you talking about? Then you think of this prostitute man in that house under drugs. Get a shower, dry off, the well water's orange, you think it's toxic. dry off, get a bath, dry off after you got a shower, get in bed, wake up with orange, lemon, grapefruit-sized bruises all over you, throwing up, infected, almost passing out, and you're blaming the well water. Mornings you come in and, or mornings sometimes you wake up and everything's fine, go out and work in the yard, come in, wash your hands. I drink a lot of Diet Coke, pour a glass, make a sandwich, go and use the bathroom. Wash your hands, come out and take a drink, and the room goes dizzy and black and more bruises, throwing up, and in fact, I thought I was dying of cancer. Here I'm being human trafficked out of that house, under drugs. I told you I had 3 weird memories. I thought they were nightmares. Now I want you to think going to sleep in your bed, waking up in your bed. Okay? Only thing you did is shower. Never seen, never talked to anybody. And it was almost like a dream of footsteps. Look, go to wake up and a syringe comes at you and the room goes dark and you think it's a nightmare. Ain't a nightmare. And then you can't see, you can't breathe. Every part of your body's in excruciating pain and you're wailing at the top of your lungs and all you can hear is your wails and then nothing. There's nothing but those flashes of 3 little things. And they got bruises infected. And you're going to the doctor, what on earth is wrong with me? And nobody's thinking of a rapist. This is where it's phenomenal. I got bruises, I don't know where it came from. The well water is orange, I think it's toxic. My personal area is swollen. I can't hardly go to the bathroom. I got a headache. I'm dizzy. I'm almost passing out. Here, drug dealers are drugging the hell out of you, beating and raping you. And he sat in the basement and he listened to that. That agent should have shot him. Shot him. Like Dr. Rapia's nurse, you should have called ICE instead of the FBI. They shoot everybody. You break a law, they just shoot you. I said, that's my joke. She said, no. Seems like if you break a law, those people just shoot you. You don't break a law around them. Now we're going to have a talk. I never talked to anybody. Melissa wants to say she was having me human trafficked. Agent John told the Apostolic Church of Barberton he knew I was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care because somebody called me a faker 15 years before. That's before he talked to me. Told hundreds of people. They've already went up and talked to the Apostolic Church of Barberton. He told those people that. Now, why didn't he care? Because he's going to steal the case's money. Why? Because he was going to take a legitimate case and put a fraud scam on it and steal the case's money and get it thrown out so drug dealers could sue the government. That's where the FBI has to make this case legitimate by paying me, standing up for it. That they don't open fraud cases for their agents to buy prostitutes on the taxpayers' dollars. There is not a prostitute clause. Now, today, we're going to put it this way. I've heard it before. They were saying that Agent John is running around with a coordinator, saying if she said anything, he gets all the money. There's no such thing. He's got a fake coordinator them. And it is very fake. No judge could sign it. There's not a prostitute clause. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say anything they won't get their money? 20 to 30 years. What is a jail sentence for the judge signing it? Say. What is a jail sentence for an FBI agent if he tells an informant if they say something, they won't have protection? It's attempted murder. Aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction, tampering with a witness. See, that's where not only is there constitutional rights of freedom of speech, there's also the Hobbes Law and a Marsy's Law that victims cannot be silenced. And then you have a freedom of speech. Now, all they would have to do is call Stark County and get a copy from the courthouse itself. And when they look at it, by federal law, what can they put in it? See, there's guidelines. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, there's guidelines and only guidelines. And they can't add to it, they can't subtract from it. It's guidelines. They get you money and immunity, no matter what, for getting them information. That's it. The whole thing's for information. You can go in a place they can't. So they hire informants. They either flip drug dealers, other people in cartels, because they can walk in a place they can't. They'll tap their phone, bug everything in the world. They get a quarter to do it because they can walk in places other people can't. Okay? And other drug dealers, if they want somebody bigger, they'll wipe out their whole past and they'll give them money the rest of their life because they risk their life to go in and get them information. I'm still on the phone.
I'm not gonna pee.
Okay. So, I want you to think about that. I found out also they're going to add our money, living expenses, housing, and a medical card. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else. They can't tell you can't say anything. It's a blackmail, like the Stark County Sheriffs. We all knew that agent couldn't say anything. Tell you couldn't say anything. It's blackmail. It's blackmail. It's blackmail. It's obstruction. It's tampering with a witness. Trying to silence a victim. Do you know in the United States, nobody in the United States, not even a judge, can tell you can't say anything? They can't sign a court order. You know why? It's a freedom of speech. The only time they can put a court order for gag order on you, jury trial. And only during the proceedings. That's how dumb this is. Because what is a jail sentence for trying to silence an FBI informant? 20 years. For an FBI agent, if a judge would sign it for his friend, another 20. And they would be made to pay back the informant's money. What would be the jail sentence for telling them they wouldn't have protection if they said anything? Attempted murder, aiding and abetting crimes, obstruction to justice, and tampering with a witness. 20 to 30. Same for a judge. Trying to silence a federal witness.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and upload this.